Terror Destroyer here, or Lieutenant Roman Bonilla here. I just saw an interesting article in the military for those service members out there on Wall Street bets. Says that in Fort Hood, people are getting killed, shot, and raped. You know? So, and they start arguing the fact that, the motherfucking counseling and shit ain't doing shit because leaders are hiding what they're doing, or it's ending. The argument is ending before someone gets demoted, outranked, or kicked out the military for not, before it gets to, court martial. And what I said, I've been speaking like an hour about this already. I'm going to try to summarize what I said a little bit real quick. First off, JAG takes forever. Court martials take months. You might be all right in the military. It's like, oh, you remember that? You remember that fucking court martial case? Yeah, that shit's right now. You're going to leave now. And second, the counseling format in the military is 3 initial counselings, or 3 pieces of paper that basically let you know within maybe 6 months of the military if you're staying there or not. And then after that particular period, there's a 6 spears format. 6 spears format. 3 positive, 3 negative. 3 positive spears are basically 3 positive reasons why you left work. Oh, I overslept. Oh, I'm having a fucking child, or oh, this and that. And 3 negative ones before they start considering you a chapter. And the sole reason, that process is there, this is for the women that are getting raped in the military. This is basically the strongest argument why they're getting raped in the military. First thing, their peers are telling you to avoid certain people for off the bat. The second a girl comes into a unit, you got the gays. The gays, there's certain people that approach her and tell her, yo, you can't be hanging out here. Some of them tell her to go. Some of them tell her to shut up. Some of them tell her to avoid, some of them tell her to avoid certain people altogether. They warn them about certain behaviors in certain men. Second, another statistics is that women that like to sleep around in the military are guaranteed sharp cases. So if they enter and they want to sleep with their peers inside a base, it's a guarantee. Someone's gonna take it. Someone's gonna do something inadequate with that person, guaranteed. Why? Because she's taking a risk to do so. And battle buddies or male soldiers do whatever the fuck they want in terms of that shit in there. That shit is just that's how those people are in there. And so the argument is for them to summarize that if you remove the 3 counseling reports and the 6 swords, basically the 3 spears, 6 swords format, if you take that out, when instead of getting a piece of paper, what you are getting involved in is unusual and cruel hard labor. Understand? Because the old school military before that format used to be involved in a lot of hard labor. Basically hardcore labor. And there's traits of that because there's like crucifiers, or remember those old school places where people put their head in their hand? There's those things in Oklahoma still, where they put a soldier's hand in there and shackle him and leave him outside in the rain, just like they did in the Rambo movie or whatever. So the counseling, in some, protects women and diversity, basically people that cannot stand unusual and cruel labor from going through something like that, because that's the only means of them correcting your discipline, and secondary to unusual labor or cruel labor, all they got left is court martial and sticking you in Leavenworth. Because once you're convicted of a crime, or once you are seen liable for something in a court martial, what's left is putting you in a box. And they will put you in a box. They will put you in a box in Leavenworth, where all these CID guys are. And there you might have some privileges. You might be able to have a weapon still. You might still be able to go to war if you're a good guy. But for most of them, they never come back home. What they are losing, these women that are screaming, rape, they raped me. They fucking slept around. They found out what they got for sleeping around. And if the whole system that's protecting these sergeants and these captains of problems from erupting in their units. It's basically your freedom. You're playing with your freedom. If that was in there, you would stay there forever. There wouldn't be no home. You wouldn't be able to get chaptered out when something happened. You would be sent to a court martial. So that's all I gotta say. As if I had a motherfucking uniform, I would have 2 fucking bars right there. I wouldn't have one. I would have 2 of that motherfucker. Eat like quickly by the year. Just not one. I would come in with one, like a little golden, and then I would have like 2 right there. Like, oh, it would be so beautiful. I would fucking kiss them. I would fucking polish that motherfucker on my chest every day. And after years, you start getting the other types of bars. The other pretty important guys. That some of them don't do nothing, but they're pretty important guys up the chain of captains. Peace.